got my bass rod here, and I'm about to do my little bass fishing thing. Oh, hey there! How you doing? Don Cassio here with Pond Pro Fishing. Are you a beginner looking to learn the essentials when it comes to bass fishing? Well, now you're in luck because I've actually dedicated my time in this page to a beginner just like yourself. We're going to go over simple stuff from spinning reels to casting reels. Now, I've been working all winter long to perfect this channel, even written down some talking points and whatnot. So we're going to start out simple with this page, and what we're going to start out with is springtime fishing with the most durable, effective lure. Now that lure I'm talking about is for an artificial, is the 5-inch senko worm. I'm a big fan of the Gary Yamamoto products. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. Now right here we have a 5-inch watermelon red senko worm. This worm is very effective in the springtime along the bank, especially if you're going to be casting 45 degrees out from the bank and then working your way in from that 45 degree mark, getting close to the bank as you cast. That way you're covering the water, because this time of year during the spring what the fish want to do is they want to come out from the main parts of the pond, the deepest parts. They're going to start feeding in shallow on the bait fish. So to locate those fish you kind of have to work from the bank, which where you're going to be standing. I don't have a boat. I'm not fancy, I'm not a rich man, I'm a working hump just like yourself, guys and girls. So we're gonna do this all from the bank. When I'm referring to the bank, I'm referring to where you're standing on the water, right in front of the water. So what I like to do is I like to stand in my spot on the bank. I like to cast out parallel to the bank, maybe 3 feet to 15, 20, 25 feet off the bank. Now with this little deal here, we got a extra wide gap hook, a 4/0 watermelon red 5-inch senko, and we have a tungsten weight right on top there. This tungsten is not lead. It's going to be more sensitive to what you're hitting on the bottom, whether it's rock, sand, silty bottom, any kind of vegetation, anything like that. And of course I got my old school bobber stopper right there. Now they have all different kinds of bobber stopper now. I still like the old school one. Call me crazy, but I don't know what to tell you. Anywho, how I rigged this deal up, now you'll notice I'll go through the top of the worm right to the bend in the shank. I'm going to penetrate through the top of the worm, slide up the shaft to the offset arm, over the offset arm, and up to the eye of the hook, covering the eye of the hook. Now, I'm going to take the sharp end of my hook, and a good way to find out where you want this to go through is follow to the bend of the shaft at the bottom of the hook. Mark it with your thumb, and voila, pierce right through. Now the top of the hook, the sharp part's going to be sitting on top. This is not going to make this bait weedless, as you can tell with my finger. What will is if I pull back on the worm, like so, and do what we call a skin hook. Now this bait is weedless and ready to go. Now that, ladies and gentlemen, is an effective Texas rig style senko setup. More importantly, with the 5-inch senko worm. Now with springtime, we're going to want to focus on our colors and our color selection, which is going to amplify your chances and increase those chances of strikes and hits and catching fish and bring them in the bank. Therefore, we're going to want to focus on colors like red, dirty water, muddy water. That's going to be your warmer water in the spring where the fish are going to more tend to congregate to. You're going to want to go for darker colors that they can kind of see easier. So maybe like a black and blue, purple, something along those lines. But for some reason, in the spring they love red. So if you're dealing with clear water, more natural colors, if you get some red in there, that's great. You're going to have a great time all the way up until summer. When that water hits 50, 60 degrees, that's when it's going to be effective. Please watch this example of me working the senko on a Texas rig style. Now you'll notice I'm pulling up on the rod, letting it down while reeling in the slack. That is textbook working the Texas rig senko worm. I'm starting at 3 o'clock where I can shake my hand to 3 o'clock. Now I'm raising it up to about 1 o'clock, okay? That's how I'm working this bait. I'm raising it up and I'm letting it fall down. And when I'm falling down, I'm reeling in the slack with it because I want a tight line, somewhat tight. When that fish strikes, then I'm able to feel it. When that fish strikes, when you have a lot of slack in the line, it's gonna be harder to set that hook and tee off with that fish on your hook. Therefore, you want to be reeling in the slack as you're going down. When you go down, let it sit for a second or two. Now you're gonna start going up again, letting it fall. 90% of the time, that fish is gonna hit it on that descent. That's when the fish like to hit this style bait, the stick bait as we call it. So please enjoy this video, and please join me on our next video when I go over chatterbaits. That's the one artificial jig, bladed jig, that caught me more fish than any other bait besides the senko. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening.